Hello, everybody. Hello, hello. I think that's okay. I'm gonna tweet that I'm live and mute my own stream. We can chat about okay. Oh, cool. Okay. I'm think I figured out a way to see my chat better and have hello. Hey, Kelsey. Hey, Alex. I was just saying, I think I figured out a way to actually see my text a little bit bigger. And my cats decided to fight on the table just as I started filming. So that's cool. Streaming, filming, whatever. They're just staring at the tripod. I'm like, yeah, of course you are. Let me know if the audio is okay. All that normal stuff. Why can't I? Okay. There we go. Can I read it? I can kind of read it. Okay. I can kind of read my chat without my glasses on, which will be helpful if I'm doing makeup. Cool. How's everybody's Monday going? I enjoyed last week, just kind of starting the week with a chat, and Miss Glitter, Alex, mentioned doing another live, so I thought, why not? And she's had great ideas. You have great ideas. If I didn't think it was rude to pressure everybody into doing YouTube, I'm like, you have good ideas. You could do YouTube, but if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But we can talk about I think everyone's newest beauty, or a lot of us, our newest beauty YouTube crush, Robert Welsh. Wait, I saw a chat and then it went away. Oh, Audra, I'm sorry, it's rough. Yeah, I know you're going through a lot, but well, if you need anything that I can help from afar, let me know. Oh, a hangover. No. Oh, I don't like hangovers. And for me, the older I got, the more they've happened. So I don't drink as much as I used to. Okay, so I'll just jump right in because, I mean, there's no time to to waste. I don't know who, somebody tweeted about him or mentioned him. And this was before the Raw Beauty Christie video. This was maybe a week before that one went up, or a couple of days before. Oh, I don't care about football at all, so I'm glad but I've been there. I've used the Super Bowl to have go to parties or have a party, but I just don't care. I haven't watched his brother at all, James Welsh. Hey, Eileen. Yeah, you definitely mentioned him, Audra, but I feel like I had multiple people mention him right around the same time. I'm gonna do a little makeup while we're doing this, just because I feel like it. And his concealer technique, his recommendation for how to place concealer, I've been trying out a couple of times now, so I thought I would show y'all too. And I just rewatched, so he's talked about it, and then in the video he did about Christie, he showed it, and I think it was like kind of 2 dots there and 1 there. And then I thought it was interesting, he always talks about the eye primer thing. And then again in that video, I feel like he really stepped it up and showed that that image, like the scientific. So in that video, he showed a magnified image of what theoretically I think what powder particles would look like up close versus like what a sticky substance would look like, which is what a base would be, and how with the concealer, if you put a concealer down and then put a powder and then do eyeshadow on top of that, like the powder particles are basically little balls and they're just gonna kind of smudge the product around and not really stick. And I'm gonna put a little bit more because all of a sudden that didn't seem like that much concealer. But I thought his recommendation for that, or his explanation for the primer thing, made a lot of sense. And then he also talks about how how concealer, if you just put it down and you don't set it, it attracts moisture or creates more moisture. But his concealer technique I like because, you know, there's just a little bit of product right here, but there's light. He helps you bounce the light off your face by putting more concealer here and then, you know, bouncing it up here versus doing the big kind of triangular shape that people do. So I've been playing with that more and doing that technique, different versions. I'm just gonna read back because even though the text is bigger, I couldn't really read it. Yeah, I used to just use concealer. Either my go-to trick, if I have a concealer that I don't like, is I would try to use it up as an eye base. But I went back to using this primer again because I already had it in my stash, and I think I'm back on using eye primer, actually using it and not just using it concealer or foundation. And then, y'all, anybody that watches me knows I love the glitter glue from NYX. Yeah, I used one of these up before years ago, and then yeah, but then packaging can suck because the seam back here sometimes has split on me before. So anyway, I like his technique because of the light, and he I don't know, I think as a channel he is so kind. Like, he's done videos, if you've never watched him, he's done videos helping his subscribers with makeup questions. He's done these, I think his kind of popularity claim to fame has been kind of reacting to beauty gurus videos. So, you know, he did Rob Beauty Christie, I think, was most recent, and then he's done like I was watching a bunch before the live stream. He did Jackie Ina's, and he was really kind with her, and like feel like he said she had a lot of good, you know, technique and advice to give, which I agree with. Hello everybody. And then who else? The Nikita Dragon one was hilarious because there were so many moments where it was just like, oh, you're being critical, but you're being nice compared to how I feel about it. Hey, Kara. Hey, anybody that's come in, Janessa, Kara. Just talking about how I enjoyed Robert Welsh's content, which, you know, he just seems super sweet. Yeah, what else did I want to talk about with him? I mean, anybody in the chat want me to... I feel like I had more to say about him. Oh, so I feel like he talks about how, like, he's like, everyone likes to say there's no rules to makeup, but I think there are rules. I would usually be the person that would be like, no, there are no rules. Like, fuck off. Don't be an asshole. There are no rules. But the way he talks about things when he talks about makeup, I think he's coming from it in a fair place. Like, he's talking more about theory and less about rules generally. So I think that's why I also don't feel like he's like clickbaiting us or trying to, like, you know, shame other people and how they do their makeup. Oh. Hey, you are smart, Alex. I'm not gonna say the other part out loud, but yeah, no, it does make me feel smart to be like, oh, it's a theory, it's not a rule. Wait, there's too many chat things. I can't read at the larger scale. Yes, okay, that's what it is, Fifi. It's so strange to see a pro MUA actually being kind and not, this is what you have to do. I love that, so I'm definitely gonna check him out. He's like, you know, he has some things, like he hates baking, he hates like all the powder or the excessive powder that people use, and he's very much about eye primers, and he's very much about like not like, he's very much about placement and where there's so many other makeup artists, for me, especially if you're a man that's like, don't do this, this is the rule, you can't do it this way, I'm more like, go fuck off, like I don't want to listen to that. But for Robert, I feel like it comes from a place of like kindness and also knowledge. And oh, something he said on Christy's video is he, like, the way she was doing, maybe it was blush or it was highlight, and he said, like, you know, you look at your face all day and this is the first, or like, you look at your face all the time and this is the first time I'm looking at your face. That was also really lovely to hear, because I was like, oh, so you're acknowledging that that, you know, we as like makeup lovers or makeup artists or just people that put makeup on their face sometimes don't do it the way makeup artists would do, because the way you see your own self is so different from the way other people see you. It's just like, look, when you look at your own body versus other people, how you oftentimes judge yourself, your body, worse than you would judge somebody that has a very similar body to you. So him saying that, I was like, oh, okay. So I appreciated that, because I don't think people talk also enough about how, like, doing makeup on yourself is different from doing makeup on someone else. Like, I don't think I could ever do makeup on other people. But yeah, people like Wayne Goss and Kevin James Bennett and some of those artists that are very bitchy and about like rules and this is wrong, this is right. I'm not a fan of that. Oh, you can be a bitch all you want in my chat. Yeah, it's not condescending. That's what it is. So I just thought, oh yeah. We keep going back to him, but yeah, Wayne Goss, I don't get the big hype. I don't like the personality, and I don't like the delivery, I guess. I don't really care to listen to that. So, but when I hear, like with Robert, he talks about placement a lot, about placing your blush, where you place your highlighter, how you place your eyeshadows. And again, I think that a lot of us that do our own makeup, we tend to just do it either the way we've always done it, or we do it the way we've seen somebody else do their makeup, and we don't really think about, is that actually complementary to our own faces? And I don't always watch makeup YouTube to learn anything, but I have learned things from him. I love that story. I want that story to be true. Robert makes me feel like we can be friends, and I can tell him my boyfriend sucks, and we'll go for Manhattans, and he would reapply my highlighter in the bathroom. Yes. Anyway, I don't know. That's, I mean, there's plenty of other things we can talk about, but I don't think the beauty gurus think about regular people at all. And I think sometimes that's my biggest issue with them. I like how he'll say, that's my opinion, but that's also what's right. And I'm like, okay, you definitely have a strong like sense of self, Robert, and if you were anybody else, I would think that you are being an asshole, but you're not. Don't ruin your beer or your computer, Audra. Oh yeah, Laura May Beauty is like a little cherub in how she places her makeup and eyeshadow in like an edgy way too. That's me reacting to Glitter Kitten again, in case anybody is curious to know. Hey Britt, I know you're going on live later. Thank you for stopping in. Yes, and everything he says, his accent makes it sound so sweet. But Lauren May Beauty is another makeup artist and content creator who I love her content, and I feel like she does interesting things besides just reviews. Yeah, and I love seeing another bigger girl on camera and doing weird things with shadow and blush placement and good people. I'd be happy to just talk about, yeah, who do we like? What creators are we a fan of? Do we think are underrated or not getting enough attention? I'm trying to see if all of my brushes are stained, so that's just gonna be it. Also, Lauren keeps talking about glitter and how so many products have glitter that's bad for the environment in it, and it just makes me sad to think about. Oh, Teresa, I mean, y'all probably are tired of me talking about Teresa. Teresa's a fave and a friend, and I feel lucky that we live in the same city, although we're literally 2 hours away from each other within the same city. So not really an easy way to, there's not really an easy way for us to connect, but some of the things, actually, I'm using this palette because of Teresa, because I have some things in my collection that used to be in her collection. And actually, yes, okay, Kara C. So it's funny, I found Glitter Kitten because of Teresa is Dead, well, Ms. Rule 3 Discord. And then, yeah, that was amazing. And then Kara I found through Karen Harris Makeup and Britt. But yeah, I love Kara. I mean, I know you're in chat, Kara, but I really do love your content too. And I feel like you doing lives and other people that I know doing lives made me comfortable to finally do them myself. Yes, I'm sure they were talking. Wait. Oh, yes. Okay. Last night on the Half Cousins podcast, they brought up Kara's Nikki Tutorials video, which is fantastic. Talking about transphobia with Nikki Tutorials. And I was like, yes, talk about Kara. Julia Mazzucato, also another one with great video ideas. There is a joke on there. Oh, Kara, when you talked about the Refer brush being, that wasn't stiff to your liking, I was like, there's definitely a joke there. I keep trying to figure out if I can make my font big enough so I can read it and actually have my glasses off, but that has not been working because everything is just blurry. Too big. Okay. Oh, okay, I'll say it again, and it'll be easy because I'm doing my eyeshadow and I can repeat myself. So on the Half Cousins podcast last night, there was basically just talking about like reviewing recent happenings, drama and otherwise, and they were talking about Nikki Tutorials, and either Lacey or Georgia mentioned, Kara, your video about Nikki Tutorials and transphobia, and one, it made me excited to hear you being mentioned on there, and two, I thought it was a great video, so I was glad it was being mentioned. And this brush is definitely not just stained, it definitely has green eyeshadow on it, so that's fun. But I'm just putting makeup on to put makeup on, so I don't really care. I can kind of read the text. Wow. I'm like, I can kind of read the text in the chat. Oh, Britt mentioned Kate the Great. Yes, Kate is so good. Her and Better Off Red, they're so funny together. And I loved Kate's style swap video that she did with another creator. Now I can't remember her name. Anyway, Kate's amazing. If you don't know who she is, Kate the Great Beauty, definitely check her out. What else is going on in chat? Oh, I always have my phone in the bathroom when I'm in the shower, and it probably is going to have a much shorter life because of that, so I can understand that. Okay, I want Kate to be my aunt that tells me about her summers in Italy, and she gives me a facial because she can. Somehow that's a perfect description of what I imagine Kate to be, especially in like maybe 5-10 years. Not that she's, do I know her age? I don't know her age, but I feel like she needs like a couple of more years, and then she'll be in a place where she's summering in Italy. You have to see a naked squirrel. Actually, let me not say if only it worked that way, because I wouldn't want it to work that way. But that's an interesting way to think about how people consume the internet and what would happen if you could see how the other person was watching or listening to you. That would probably be scary. Like a Freaky Friday situation. Yes, the Out of My Comfort Zone videos with Michelle Wong and Better Off Red were so much fun. I love seeing that go up right around the same time that the one that Kate did with, I think it's Alex? Oh, I'm bad with names. I'm not as familiar with her channel. Why did I just put blue on this giant brush? Yes, Michelle is a favorite. I feel like I always talk about people, like creators that I love, but when I think about that, who instantly comes to my mind? Michelle, Kate, Teresa, Kara, Britt, Lacey, half cousins. Who else besides the people that I always mention? Lauren, Hannah Louise Poston, I really enjoy too. Hannah Smoky Glow. So Michelle, so I do feel a little poor to be watching Michelle's channel, but Michelle is such a like dry, sarcastic sense of humor that I just love it. Like I just love it. I love her sense of humor and I love watching her. And then since I've gotten back onto Twitter in the last 6 months or something, she's also really funny and fun to like interact with there. Annette's Makeup Corner. I haven't been watching her as much, and I don't know why, but I do love her. If I'm looking for colorful looks, especially if there's like a new palette or something, she's a go-to. I love the Half Cousins. I feel like they have made like a big impact on a weekly basis, like every Sunday night. I know I have a cool group of people to hang out with and talk about something. I need to check out Nikki Raven. I've heard of her name. Oh, Angelica, yes. Angelica Nyquist, or Angelica Nyquist, I think is how I should actually be pronouncing her name. Also love her, and she's another she's more of my go-to when I'm looking for color inspiration. I'm so broke, but I'll never miss a Michelle video. That's exactly, yeah, that's how I feel. And even her style, like her makeup style is so much more minimal than Mimi, the Mimi Bobek, the blue eyeshadow lady over here, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. Oh, Jen is fun. I enjoy her live chats too, especially when she's able to have people on. I like her live chats, and I like her like faves and fails videos. I don't watch maybe everything she puts out, but I tend to always watch those. But I watch a lot of YouTube, so it's not even a matter of if I'm watching everything, it's like when I'm gonna watch it. For me, Sundays are the day that I watch Angelica's best, or what's up, and not what's up, that's Jen. When I watch her new makeup releases, and then Jen's live chat, and Half Cousins. Yeah, I watch a lot of YouTube, if it hasn't been very aware of how much I'm in chats. So, wait, okay. Reddit, do I even want to know? I try not to venture onto Reddit for many reasons, but especially makeup related reasons, because I feel like people are dumb and they find stupid reasons to criticize people. Sometimes, I mean, criticism is always fair. I mean, I think everyone here knows I don't shy when I have thoughts about things, but guru gossip or Reddit beauty and all of that, I don't like. But there are parts of Reddit that I do actually like, or I have enjoyed in the past. So, Mel Thompson and also Kelsey Brianna J. And there's something about those two together. I love seeing friends interact online with different, like, between each other. Oh yeah, Amy loves makeup. Oh, Glitter Alex. Oh no. I don't think I could check every day, and if somebody I love is featured, no, I don't. There's a part of me that really wants to know that kind of stuff, and there's a part of me that I don't ever want to know. So if anybody's been following last week's beginning of the month, I started, okay. So Kara just said, one of my videos was posted to Reddit, and amazingly everyone was nice, but I would have never known if someone didn't tell me. If you see somebody you know, Lacey, it's so funny that you walked in. Hello. I just want to say, if you see me ever featured there, or if you see somebody else that you follow and interact with and see negative comments, do not fucking tell that person. Don't tell them. Telling them does no good for them. If you want to tell them that there's positive information on there, maybe, but that also kind of opens it. It's like, you're going into the black hole and you may come out unscathed, but you never know what you might stumble on because you're a curious person. So that's my perspective. Yeah, even if it's positive. For me, I'm that way. I'm like, I don't want to see my name on the internet, like, unless I put it on there. I don't, on a message board. Like, my college years, my university had an unofficial message board. Basically, there was an unofficial message board that was like for no, it's okay, Alex, okay to bring it up. I totally get it. But so my college had a message board. Well, it wasn't theirs, it was unofficial, but anyway. And that was like how I spent my college years. I met so many friends in college because of the internet. Like, we were in the same city on the same campus, but we first interacted on the message board. And it was like Reddit before Reddit was really there in some ways. Like, it was a microcosm of that. And so, like, I'm good with a lot of like wicked internet humor and like really shitty things, like really terrible things that make you go like, oh, I just saw that. Oh, I'm gonna have to like bleach my brain. I've had a lot of that in my internet history, but I wouldn't want to have that as a creator. I don't think it would be good. I'll tell this story. I had a really good friend of mine. I met a really good friend that I had in college and a couple years after, and then she passed away, unrelated to anything, but she brain bleach. I wish it was too. So I had this friend that I became incredibly close with, and my first interaction with her, actually it wasn't my first interaction, but I basically saw this post on that message board that was like, I don't understand why people, like, basically, why are they such wimps that they have to, like, put their jacket and their coat on to just, like, go catch a bus to go to a different part of the campus. Like, she was just being a snarky bitch to be a snarky bitch. But I realized that she was actually posting about me, and we had interacted on the message board previously, but she didn't realize that I was this person who was in one of her math classes and also in her program, the textile program. And I think I commented on the post, like, I'm sure I didn't say, hey, bitch, but in my head I wanted to be like, hey, bitch, that's me. Like, what's wrong with being cold and wanting to put on gloves? Because that was literally the only reason why she was critiquing me, is that, like, she's not normally, she likes cold weather and liked being cold. And she was just, like, making fun of me for being somebody that like layered up in North Carolina in the winter, which is not that cold. Anyway, like, a not very interesting story to show that I'm used to seeing shit on the internet and being like, oh, fuck you. But I wouldn't want to have that sent to me if somebody saw something on the internet about me. Like, that was a rare instance where we ended up meeting and, like, having a really close friendship, but in most situations that would have ended up with, like, go fuck yourself and don't ever talk to me or look at me ever again. But instead it ended up with, like, oh, you're that weird bitch that I just love, and you were just being a true asshole on the internet because you like to do that. Okay, I get it. Yeah, most people have that reaction. Okay, cool, your preferences are different, fuck off. But so that was college for me. I don't need to see that, like, you know, as an adult. And that was like freshman year of college, where I feel like most people are still like high school assholes just trying to pretend like we're cool. Because that's really what I think it was, is like just trying to pretend like you're cool because you're the freshman on campus. Anyway, yeah, so, you know, generally speaking, if you see someone's name, something posted on Guru Gossip or Reddit, not worth sharing with them. For me, and for a lot of people. Be cool, don't be an asshole. Good life mantra. And for anybody that has come in since I last said hello to everybody. I can't say I've never been on Guru Gossiper, and sometimes I'm curious because I'm curious, and it's kind of like watching a drama video without then having every YouTube recommendation after the fact giving me recommendations for drama videos, because I've been trying to not watch those. So sometimes you just get the information without having to watch anything. But I haven't been on there in a long time. Well, that's the other thing, is that everything that people say online, like, would you actually say that to that person's face? Or is it just because it's online that you've had, you know, yeah. Yeah, hate following or hate watching, I'm like, you realize that doesn't work because you're just giving that person more views and more interaction, and that makes them more successful and gets them more recommended to other people. So Beauty Guru Chatter is like the Reddit part that I think we were talking about it. But I haven't been on there in a while. I hate you, but take some money. Exactly. And Audra, yes, I grew up regularly getting picked apart. I prefer not to go through that again. Exactly. I had a really hard time finally realizing. So after I left high school, I was like, why are you people still acting like you're in high school? Didn't you like, weren't you excited to leave that behind? And now that I'm finally in my 30s, I realize no, some people like that kind of high school mentality and they never leave it behind. It's just who they are. And that was a real sad realization because I realized, oh, you just want to be that way. And now that you're out of high school, maybe you miss because you were being the cool kid in high school, whereas all of us that were fucking terrified and bullied in high school are like, thank God that's over. I really had a hard time, especially any kind of like work drama. If anything happened, it'd be like, stop being little bullying mean girl. Like, why do you want to do that? And I realized people just want to do those things. Whereas I would prefer never having to deal with that kind of lack of interpersonal communication or interpersonal skills, whatever. Y'all know I can't. I don't have much of I don't have a strong vocabulary sometimes. No, Audra. Don't. I mean, if you want to go on to any of the sites that were mentioned, just don't actually search your own name. Just don't do it. And yes, Kay, I think so much of it is projecting self-hatred onto other people. Just, was it Lacey or somebody earlier said, you know, only, well, I don't remember how it was said, but I feel like only people that don't like themselves want to spend time hating on other people. That is my take on it. Yeah, happy people don't act that way. I also don't know what the hell I'm putting on my eyes right now, so enjoy this. Yeah, happy people stay in their own lane. Happy people like to celebrate people's like positive things and they're hitting their goals or things like that. Happy people don't kill their husbands. That too. I mean, as somebody who watches a lot of listens to a lot of true crime podcasts, that is also very true. Yeah, oh, limited amount of happy. Yes. Okay. I love that concept, and I feel like people don't think about that enough. There's not a limited amount of happy. There's not a limited amount of success. I have to think about that a lot of times, like in work-related things or, yeah, a lot of times with work, because I have to think about like if somebody else gets a really cool job, or like for me, if I see somebody get a cookbook deal or something like that, like them getting that does not mean that like opportunities are taken away from other people. Sometimes it can be just because of the way industries behave sometimes, but generally speaking, like one person's happiness or success doesn't limit your opportunity for happiness, especially happiness. That's not it's not a fossil fuel. We're not running out of it. That's an interesting perspective, Audra, that YouTube really helped you be a lot happier for others. I feel like that's, why is this, I'm so off center. I feel like that's true for some people, but I think that can make it harder for other people. I know I generally feel that way, but I also feel like it's really easy to compare yourself, and it can be hard to, I'll have moments where I'll see something and I'll be excited for that person and happy for that person, but I will also at that same time let myself feel bad for me or beat myself up for for not getting that random success, that random achievement. But I also try to remember that that's my own personal shit, and I don't need to push my shit onto somebody else. Like, I can process that myself and figure out why I'm feeling that way. But for the meantime, I just need to congratulate them and tell them, hey, that's fucking amazing. Yeah, and that too. People who make a hobby out of shitting on random internet strangers are not people I want to know. Exactly. Yes, go film, Lacey. Thank you for stopping in. I don't want to interrupt anyone's flow. And I know that when you lose energy, how quickly that can happen. Thank you for your honesty. Well, thank you for listening to my shit. I mean, I think that I've had these conversations more with close friends, and just being able to be honest with yourself and say, like, okay, yeah, I do feel this thing, but this feeling doesn't have to dictate my reaction. So Kay mentions having some fear about starting a channel. I used to, even as of like up to a month ago, I used to just be like, start it, do it. Like, I had some regrets for waiting so long before starting mine. But actually, half cousins kind of helped me realize that you do need to have a conversation with yourself of, am I in a place mentally that I can start this channel? Because of the things I was just talking about in terms of seeing other people's successes, seeing other people's growth or their opportunities. Is that going to affect you? Are you going to be able to handle the stress you might put on yourself about starting a channel, or the stress you might feel from your subscribers, even if they're not really the ones stressing you? So I'm still very much like, if you feel it inside of you to start a channel, start the channel. But I think you also, I mean, it sounds like you are okay, you are tapped into yourself pretty well, but I think you do have to think about that a lot, of like how you really feel internally. Yeah, the what ifs, the what if people do this, do that, are not easy. I think for me, surprisingly, I've had oh, let me not just spread this blue. Oh well, I just did that. I've had a couple of comments that have made me go like, go fuck yourself. Like, but I hide that person from my channel and I don't deal with it. Yeah, and exactly what Kara said. I think shaky self-confidence translates to jealousy towards others' success. It's like, you can definitely feel critical of yourself, and that can come out when you see someone else's success, but that doesn't mean you have to push it onto that person. Have a good night, Alex. Thank you for coming by and inspiring me to do this chat and the chat topic. But I think for anybody that's thinking about starting a channel, you know, I try to stay encouraging. I'm just going to do blue highlighter because that happened. And this is just a look for wasting my time. But it's true. YouTube is huge. There's room for everybody. And I think the other thing is that I generally, honestly, don't think that mean people find your channel when you're small. I think when you start hitting the, I would say probably like maybe 5,000 and up, definitely more in the 15,000 subscribers. When you're in that range, I do think that the rude people, you know, show up. But I don't think that the first, let's say, 6 months of your YouTube career, are you really going to deal with that. And the other bonus is that, okay, let's say there's certain things that you're particularly critical of, or like you yourself are more worried about getting critique of. You can go into your settings and set up a filter so that anytime a certain word is used, that person gets like automatically hidden, or I think it's hidden from the channel. And I have done that because I just don't want to deal with certain things, and I don't want to waste my time seeing a comment and being like, great, now I feel like shit. Oh, thank you, Kay. And Britt, that's true. I think it depends on your content. I'm sure that's the case. I'm mainly looking at like from beauty, skincare, that side of things. But for sure, I think terrible people can find you at any size, at any, you know, any point in your career. Because like I said, I've gotten comments here and there that I don't enjoy, but the percentage of bad comments to good is maybe, you know, 1%. Yes, Squirrel, you could definitely control that so that it never even shows up in your like studio, in your comments. If you know, if you have certain things, like, I don't know if I would, like, if I was thinking about like Feffy, I know you mentioned your accent, and I don't know if you'd want to necessarily block the word accent because somebody could comment like, oh, your accent's so cute. But there are other things that you can block if you're feeling, you know, self-conscious about, and you want some, either a barrier. Oh, I didn't even say it. This blush is, it's in my project pan, and that's because it's Too Faced. It's the Pomegranate, really bright one. Although, is it any similar? Is this similar? I'm just having a comparison moment. No, not really. If you like a really shiny pink, it's not all that similar, but this BH Cosmetics highlighter palette, this one right here, it's not as deep, but it is a shiny pink. Yes, this is a, yes, Blush Slut. I don't love this formula, and I didn't love it even before, before Jared had to fire his sister. But I'm trying to get more use out of it. And yes, these are the Cleona brushes. I don't know why I'm putting them more. They are nice, but they're more of a display piece for me than a like a go-to. I got the set that came in the where are they? I got the set that came in the Try Beauty box with Angelica's Try Beauty box. So it was five brushes. Some of them are like, I mean, they're good. This is the fifth one. Those 5. They're fine. They're like a fine synthetic brush. But the other brushes that I still have been using nonstop is Refer. So I've had those I've had my Cleona brushes and my Refer brushes are the only brushes I've been reaching for since I got my Refer brushes. Oh, you're Feffy. I think most people would find my accent cute because I low-key sound like Gabby from Bon Appetit, except from the other side of the Andes Mountain. Yes, that's a really cute accent. And thank you. Somebody mentioned that thank you, Hannah, Blue and Bubblegum Dream. Thank you. So I've been, oh wow, yeah. Except did I blush? Oh well. Yeah, I think that these blushes are nice because they have some bright colors. Hi, MKS Pike. You made it for a Hive live stream. Thank you. So the reason why I was using this palette, so I've been doing my little eyeshadow project for this is my 2nd week. And so what my project is that I'm using a randomizer to pick 4 to 5 single shadows and a palette for me to use throughout each week. So my 5 singles are these, and then my palette is the Blue Moon palette. So I got some use out of them today. It's a weird mix of colors, but it'll get me to use every shadow I have. Oh, Lauren May Beauty has a great blush draping video. She did a really pretty blush draping. It was like, I think of it as like a C shape. So it like started at the under part of the eye and kind of wrapped around. I really like that shape. This is like my blush contour look. And I'm gonna have a video up in a couple of days. I think in 2 days. That's kind of a similar placement that I did tonight, but with a cream blush. Thanks for stopping in, Kay, and thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. And blush draping to me is just like put blush somewhere that you haven't put it before and see if you like it. Oh, shut up, computer. I thought I turned your volume off. Sorry if that was loud for anybody. I don't wear a lot of blue eyeshadow. It's actually probably my least favorite color on myself. Besides like plain old brown neutrally colors, which is a shame because I like color, but I think blue is just hard to work with. And blue can feel kind of dated, like a Barbie doll, or there's other references that I can't think about. But I do want more color in my lash line. Oh, thank you for the super chat. Is there anything in particular you would like to talk about, MKS Pike? Because I always love that when someone super chats, they can throw out a question or a topic. I'm literally just hanging out and doing some makeup on my face. Yeah, and that's the other thing. Blues can get really patchy. I will say though, Sydney Grace, their blue shadows, they have some mattes. They did a big set that was their spin on the Icy Betch when that came out a couple years ago. The blues and greens in that collection are really pretty, and they're slightly different tones than what you see in a lot of green eyeshadows and blue eyeshadows. What else do I need to do? I actually thought I would use this tonight, but I decided to go very bubblegum pop art, whatever this is. Yeah, blue is very 80s. There's not a subtle way to wear blue. For me, I never end up going subtle. I always end up going very much like this. Yeah, Audra, I think I'm gonna return this. I think. So this is just the blush palette. I think I'm gonna return it, and I think it might actually, I might be looking at other cream blushes that Sephora has, because I do like this cream formula, and this is pretty, but it's not that special. This is really glittery, and this doesn't work as a highlighter for me. It's just like it can be a blush topper, but for $55, even though it was a gift card, so I didn't technically pay for that. I'm looking at Tower 28 because you're mentioning it, Britt, and then also Kosas, because Kosas has little split pans, so I could get 2 cream blushes, like 2 different tones, and yeah, I think I might do that. I want to go into a store though and see. I should look and see. Didn't you mention that Tower 28 is coming into some Sephoras? I might have to go into Sephora and see if I can touch and feel it, because this is nice because it is buildable. I didn't realize it had such a sheen to it, but it does. So it's a nice color and it's buildable, and I'm a sucker for the packaging, but I'm with you, Kara. I don't think I'm going to use it enough to keep it. And the more I think about it and think about the cream with the powders, yeah. So, oh no, I never use makeup bags, Squirrel. I don't. And then when I travel, I usually just use multiple little bags, like little bags I have left over from not BoxyCharm, like Ipsy or Birchbox, was it? So, and in terms of Valentine's palettes, I will say the more reviews I've seen of the Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, the more I'm curious by it. But I have my Smoky Glow palette coming whenever, so I feel like I should hold off on anything else. So Christine, I never used to wear cream blush, but having this palette has made me realize I would like to have cream blush. I feel like in the last 2 weeks, what am I saying? Oh yeah, these shades. So I really like glitter. I think if this was light enough for it to actually be like a shiny highlight on me, I would wear this as a highlight, but it's more of like a blush highlight. And then this is glittery, but it's not that special of a shade. Oh, Charlotte Tilbury, yes. So I'm not sure if I want to do a cream that's in a stick or a thing, or if I'd rather have this kind of thing in a pan so that I could dip a sponge or a brush or something in there. But I've also been changing up my makeup. So like I've been powdering less. I've been doing more of like, I'll do the cream blush and then I'll just put a powder blush on top rather than putting powder down and then putting blush. Like I've just been doing less powder actually. Still powdering the important parts for me, like where my glasses sit, but not just going all in. Yes, lipstick as cream blush is a great idea. That's actually what I used. I'm going straight Barbie and going in with my Milani gloss. That's pink with blue, a blue shift to it. So I did a cream blush look, and I mixed the lipstick with some foundation because it was a really intense lipstick. And so that sheared it out. But you could also do it if you have like a lighter shade, like this is a NARS pencil I have. You could just apply it straight and then blend it out. That's true. Maybe I should do that more. I should probably return this and then just save what I get back in return and play around with lipsticks for before I buy something else. We'll see. I really like this gloss. If you ever see, they brought it back at Christmas time. They had a set, the Stellar Lights glosses. They're really nice, actually. Oh, Janessa, I didn't think about that. They probably just put a powder here because, or just put a flap over the whole thing because that's probably the component they had, you know, already designed. But I didn't think about that powder transferring over. That's interesting. I've also been playing with this with my fingers. I've been doing a lot more makeup with my fingers lately, even powders, because I'll sit here at my computer and just want to put something on and just grab it and put it on and not grab brushes or anything. But yeah, Audrey, your skin is gorgeous, or your base is gorgeous. I don't know if it's your skin or your, if it's specifically, I think it's your skin though. It's not just your base, but you do a great job with that. Wait, Britt, when you use Tower 28, is it a blush that you feel like you can, like, do you powder on top of it or put a powder blush on top, or do you just do, if you're still in the chat, or do you just do cream blush? Or anybody else with their blush recommendations? Do you have one where, do you have a cream blush that you can wear without powder and it's not too slippy? Anyway, I'm probably wrapping it up soon. And speaking of Brit, I know she's going on live soon. And okay, yeah, I'll have to go touch those Tower 28 ones in person and see what I think, because we'll see. Oh, I wanted to ask, is anybody actually interested in the Melt palette that's coming out. That was what I was thinking, is I thought I'll return this and maybe I'll have money for that palette. And then they revealed that palette and I was like, oh, well, I don't want that palette. So the cloud paints, that format always seems so intimidating to me. I've played with it. I've been to, there's a Glossier store here in New York, and I've been to it like twice. And I played with them, and I always feel like just too much comes out at one time. But I may have to go and check them out too. Yeah, I think after doing so much with their last palette, and even their last few palettes, I felt like the packaging, I get why it was simple and streamlined and millennial pink, because that's the title, but I really loved the aesthetic. I like the aesthetics they did with Gemini. I like the aesthetics they did with, I mean, I loved what they did with the Amor Eterno, and so this just doesn't feel that interesting to me. And then I felt like, for me, it looked like a Charlotte Tilbury palette with a couple of grays added. That's what I thought when I first saw it, is that it looks like Pillow Talk with a couple of grays. Oh, I didn't expect to see those two words in my chat. Cloud paint tubes tend to projectile vomit up blush, alas. Yeah, that's what I thought. Artillery Broad. Yeah, the bar was set impossibly high with the Amor Eterno. Although I saw more than a few reviews that were like, the formula's okay, but the aesthetics though. I really enjoyed the Gemini palette for the 2 months that I've had it, but I don't know if I'm in love with their formula. Vevi just said Melt may have peaked with a Amor Eterno. I don't just. Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the answer, though. Melt. Oh, God. That comment. Melt lost their boner and couldn't continue giving it to us good. It's kind of how I feel. If Melt has jumped the shark, who is going to replace the very dying kendo vegan beauty doing good lot of bullshit that's happening with the KVD brand? Because that's what I thought. I thought that Melt was going to kind of step into those shoes, but I don't know about that. I'm doing blue in my waterline. Speaking of kendo, this is Marc Jacobs. Yeah, pink is like one of my favorite colors, especially in makeup, and I was so underwhelmed by that choice of palette. The KVD stuff, I know it's been talked about in like every live chat thing that I've been in recently. Okay, that's it too. So going back to Melt, I think if they were $35 to $45 palettes, like what Melt is putting out, I think that issues with performance I wouldn't be as critical about and as wary to buy. But for like $58, for me, I can't deal with like an underperforming expensive palette. And to me, anything over $50 to $55 is, I mean, and it's an expensive palette. And the kendo thing, I don't know what they're thinking. I would have rather, for me, as a somebody who's who's fairly aware of what's going on in the makeup industry, if they had just said, we're keeping the KVD on everything right now because that's what we have, and we may be rolling out a revamp or like a renaming down the road, that's fine. But I don't expect, I mean, I understand how expensive it would be to like clearance everything and repackage it, redesign and produce new packaging. So I wasn't expecting that from them, but that announcement was just trash. Kind of verbose and diluted. Exactly. Yeah, Melt Smoke Sessions looks beautiful, but I also don't, I don't like blue tone greens. I want my greens to be like yellowy toned. And if they had done something like that palette, but more yellow toned greens, more of like the Gemini palette, but expanded, like an expansion palette, I probably would have bought it much. Like, I would have bought it. We need to come up with our own name for it. No, I mean, for me with KVD, if they release something that looks just absolutely so ridiculously amazing and it's a step above and beyond what they've been doing recently, I may buy it, but anything they have out right now, I don't have any interest in. And that's funny that you say that. Radioactive puke greens are probably my favorite kinds of greens. Just yesterday I swatched all of my lime shadows because I was curious to see like the differences. Oh. Teal is probably your favorite color. Teal is a good one, but I think teal kind of gets the same treatment that blue gets from me. I just don't reach for it that often. But also, speaking of teal, or speaking of Sydney Grace and teal, their color Megalodon is like the most beautiful teal shimmer I have ever put my fingers into. And wow, I could have done my wing liner with that mascara that I just got on my face. That's great. Oh, another set of words I wasn't expecting to see in my chat tonight, and I'm not going to repeat, but squirrel. Well done. I'm not going to repeat that because, too real. Well, too gross. Yeah, I'm with you, Kelsey. That react. You like to help. I think you should just start. I think you should just start tweeting these to KVD's team and let them take their pick. They have lots that they can choose from. I can't believe I just have a huge smear of mascara on. Yes, I will see you in chat, Britt. Thank you for stopping in. I know getting set up for chat can take time, so I'll see you soon. You have no chill. Oh, Megalodon. Yeah, it's really pretty. I actually used it as like a wing liner, and I'll have that video up. I was gonna say soon, but it'll probably be sometime this month to have a vague timeline for you. It's really gorgeous. I have to say there are some really pretty shadows from Sydney Grace. Their site still totally overwhelms me, but if anybody was curious to know, like, is the hype for real with them, I think it is. And I think that's it. I should clean off the mascara. You don't know your time and place? Don't apologize. I love that kind of... I was just talking about how earlier I literally... like, a formative part of the internet for me was a ridiculous message board that was full of... if you know... I don't even want to say it out loud, but just full of, like, the most terrible references from the internet was on there. Oh, Oh, excuse me for that sound. I'm sure that was gross to hear. Thank you for stopping in, Janessa. Yeah, I don't know if I have much else to say. We're just like chatting and hang out with y'all. Thank you for... Oh, I'm making all kinds of noises thanks to Seltzer. Oh, cosplay and costume makeup. Is there any specific kind of cosplay like that you like or that you would want inspiration for? For costume makeup. Oh. Halloween costume. Oh my gosh, who can I... Everyone that I think of doesn't really do Halloween looks anymore. Like, I know Raw Beauty Christie used to do Halloween looks. And I think of, like, who's it? Mickey, Glam and Gore. But I don't think she's even been doing beauty content lately. Can I say the place that I've been seeing the most cat makeup with actual markings? The place I've been seeing the most like cosplay and costume makeup content has been TikTok, which I know not everyone's into. But if I think of anybody and they have like an Instagram account or a YouTube account, I will let you know, ODB. Yeah, Vintage Hacky has done some, that's for sure. Oh yeah, Butte Bean. Butte Bean did a whole month of Halloween looks. They weren't all like heavy duty costumes, but I would say Butte Bean. Who else? I don't watch that many Halloween makeup. Like, I don't like special effects stuff because I don't really like seeing gore, even if it's fake gore. It's not my favorite thing. I mean, not everybody's into TikTok, but I've discovered makeup people on TikTok and I've really enjoyed them. There's this one account, I think she's Joanna143. She did like a different look every day on TikTok for a different look every day of October. And she did some really like looks that it made my head hurt at first, in the way of like, you did that's makeup. Cat markings though, you're looking for. Okay, yes, I'm going to, if I find anything, I'll find you on the internet and send them to you. Yeah, I was on I was on Musical.ly when it was Musical.ly, and it was like hand motion dance move things, and then that died, and then TikTok happened, and I didn't really go on there until probably about 4 months ago, and now of course it's become another makeup. It's become not just makeup content, but a place where I found great makeup content. Yes. And I'm coughing, which makes me think I've been talking too much. So I think I'm going to wrap it up here, unless anyone else has any other questions. But it's been over an hour, and I appreciate everyone for hanging out with me. And my cats are officially waking up from their nap, which means they will soon knock over my camera. So I think I'm going to go. Have a great night, everybody. I'm sure I'll see you around on the internet soon. And if y'all enjoy the chat, let me know. You know where to find me on the internet. I may make this a weekly thing or maybe a bi-weekly thing. Good night, everybody. How do I do this? I never know how to do this.